Delhi is a city that is predominantly dependent on road transport, with the railways, the metro, catering to only about 2% of the local traffic. The public transportation system in Delhi is characterized by high dependence and low availability. Such disproportionate figures often generate problems that skip the mention. A concrete example of this situation is the auto rickshaws in the city.
At times, the rickshawalas are not ready to go to the places where we want to go.
They have a major price issue because they never go by meter.
I don't have to think about it. Terrible. Every single day, 9:30 in the morning, there used to be a fight.
Auto rickshawalas are not governed properly. They are not checked whether they are running the meters or not.
Finally, I went to see the DCP traffic. It was a Sikh gentleman. He said to me, the problem is, nobody complains. I said, Baba, I'll do a pact with you. I will complain. Will you take action? Yes, he said. I flooded them with complaints.
Because there aren't actually many alternatives to auto rickshaws. You can go to taxis, which jump the fare tremendously.
ऊपर से मंत्री से लेकर संतरी तक सब चोर चले आ रहे हैं करप्शन में, तो उन्होंने इतने घोटाला कराया उतने घोटाला कराया। हमने तो कुछ घोटाला नहीं कराया, तो हमें लोग बताओ हम घोटाला करते थे, हमारी शर्ट फटी हुई है तो आप ये सीधी नहीं होती। अब बताओ आप घोटाला करने वाले ऐसे होते हैं।
अब महंगाई जो है उससे डबल हो गई है, गवर्नमेंट के जो टैक्स हैं वो डबल हो गए हैं, तो उसमें हम चलते तो हैं मीटर से, लेकिन हमारे को बचत नहीं आती।
500-600 बस, ये जब एक आध सवारी ऊपर नीचे मिल गई, कोई फिक्स नहीं है, तो 400 उसे दिए, 100 उसे दिए, हमें क्या बचा 150 रुपया। बड़ा मुश्किल से 14 घंटे की ड्यूटी करने के बाद बचता है।
पाठ इतने महंगे, उन पर कोई सुनवाई नहीं है, उन पर कोई कंट्रोल नहीं है गवर्नमेंट का।
Story starts from 1998 or 9, MC Mehta case. Of course, there were good intentions behind filing the writ petition. Supreme Court passed judgment in 2002 and ordered all the autos in the city to be converted into CNG. However, when the final judgment came, before that, there were few orders passed before the final judgment, and one such order passed was to put a cap on the number of auto rickshaws in Delhi.
अगर सरकार ये तय नहीं करती कि आपके शहर में कितने डॉक्टर, वकील, नाई, दुकानें आदि होनी चाहिए, तो फिर सरकार ये कैसे तय कर सकती है कि आपके शहर में कितने ऑटो रिक्शाएं हों?
किसी प्रकार की कोई पाबंदी ना निजी वाहनों पर है, ना टैक्सियों पर है, ना बसों के ऊपर है, ना ट्रकों के ऊपर है। ये पाबंदी केवल ऑटो रिक्शाओं के ऊपर लगाई गई है।
It's like asking a question, how many dhabas a city should have or how many pan gallas should there be in a city, right? Obviously there is no magic number, and there is no rational way to calculate an ideal number for the auto rickshaw or for any of the other services that we have in the city.
So by fixing a limit, you are creating a scarcity and artificial problem. Make it free, make it open. The market will automatically decide if you have more auto rickshaws, they'll be competitive.
Since there was a ceiling on the number of auto rickshaws by the court, their numbers remained stagnant. Whereas Delhi as a city kept growing, and due to this rapid urbanization and growth, the demand for public transport also kept increasing.
but there was no supply after that. I mean, you have 55,000, but apart from that, the supply didn't grow. And hence the imbalance between demand and supply. There are always people who would like to join a profession because there is a demand for that. But since there is a restriction put by the court judgment, they could not join unless somebody is leaving that profession. And this led to a different market, a sort of black market, and the auto financiers came into existence.
A brand new car costs rupees 3 lakhs. A second hand car costs around rupees 50,000. But an auto rickshaw costs rupees 4.5 lakhs in Delhi. Why?
सरकार ने रोक लगाया हुआ है कोर्ट की वजह से, तो आप कहीं से ले नहीं सकते हैं. तो आप जब फाइनेंसर के यहाँ जाएंगे तो कहेगा कि भाई हम तो दे देंगे, लेकिन 1 लाख की गाड़ी है, 1.5 लाख की गाड़ी है, और वो कहेगा कि साहब आपको 4 लाख देने पड़ेंगे.
As history tells us that monopolies exist only when there is a legal government regulation or restriction in the market. Hence, the government's decision to put a cap or ceiling on the number of commercial licenses in the auto rickshaw sector implied that the demand exceeds the supply, thus creating an artificial scarcity which gave unlicensed market players an opportunity to create a black market and make huge profits.
What we should fight for is what you call transparency, is an open policy for without restriction. Bring in the restriction when you understand the system, when you see the problems, where is the problem, what is the harassment, what is this one, and bring in those controls where necessary. Do not interfere with any, the market demand. Do not interfere with, the public demand, the convenience.
Does the government fix the price for the clothes that you buy or food that you eat provided by private entrepreneurs? And mind you, auto rickshaw drivers are also private entrepreneurs.
पहली ज़रूरत तो है कि किराया किस आधार पर तय होगा, इसका एक फार्मूला बनाया जाना चाहिए. फार्मूले में थोड़ा सा लचीलापन भी होना चाहिए कि 10-20 पैसे प्रति किलोमीटर का ऊपर नीचे किया जा सके. उस फार्मूले के मुताबिक कोई भी एक साल, पूरे साल में कोई भी एक दिन तय कर दिया जाए और उस तारीख को उस फार्मूले के मुताबिक अपने आप स्वतः ही किराया ऊपर नीचे जितना भी बनता है उसे तय किया जाए, उसकी घोषणा की जाए और उसे लागू किया जाए, ताकि इसमें से राजनीति निकल सके, दोनों वर्गों का असंतोष निकल सके, चाहे वो चालक हो चाहे सवारियां हो.
The government has an opportunity here through reforms to formalize these markets in a manner that's fair to the drivers. You see, otherwise, if you don't pay attention to the process of formalization, the structure of the market will become such that the poorest and the weakest are the most exploited, and the richest and the strongest are the exploiters.
जब आप प्राइवेट कारों के लिए कोई सीलिंग नहीं लगाया है तो इनकी सीलिंग ख़त्म कर देनी चाहिए, और इसके लिए स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को कोर्ट में जा करके आर्गू करना चाहिए.
Once we have done those two, delicensing and removing the upper cap, then we should, I think, encourage people to form other cooperatives or companies as opposed to individual operators, and thereby create a brand identity which helps customers in knowing which brand service they are buying, which will also help the suppliers to figure out what pricing system they want to have for their customers, and thereby create this differential pricing system for differential services.
Whereas for the customer, it's simply a vehicle you get into and it provides you a service. For the government, it's a strategic part of the transportation plan. For the NGOs, it may be a source of pollution or not a source of pollution. For the drivers, it's actually a source of livelihood. And any decisions that are taken at that level without their input can be unjust sometimes, unintentionally.